Ilana chapampa kailale basiara kishanjona. Nyumba inanuka shashamane. Welcome to another episode of In All Honesty, my fabulous name. In All Honesty podcast. Welcome to another episode of In All Honesty podcast. My fabulous name is Oliver Rao, and I know I shouldn't be waltzing here so confidently when I have not put out an episode for the past couple of weeks, months. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but here I am. To be honest, I just wasn't in a good mental space. I won't say I wasn't depressed, I wasn't sad, I wasn't mad. It was just those, I don't know if anyone else has those experiences where you're just, you know, this is your time. You know, this is the day and the time to go shoot an episode, but you just do not have the strength and cannot bring yourself to just go shoot that freaking episode. And it happened to me for a couple of weeks. And I think it's because I was overwhelmed. I felt like a lot of things were happening in my personal life, in my work life. I just could not balance. But I'm glad to be back. I am so glad to be back. And I hope the conversation today will be amazing. And you'll also share with me whatever it is that you have that could be similar to this or that this episode might have triggered. Please share with me. I love listening to other people's stories as much as I guess people listen to mine. So, this episode was inspired by a trend I saw on TikTok. I don't know if you've seen it, this one.
Tell me how you're the least favorite child without telling me you're at least favorite child.
So, yes. And I think I was the least favorite child growing up, but dare you tell my family? They will deny, like Peter just did Jesus. Deny. But it's okay. I do understand that a lot of people might have some problems with, basically, not problems, but I think interpretation of things. Maybe someone did something thinking that's how they show love, and me, I interpreted it in my own way. So let's agree to disagree. Let's disagree to agree. I don't know. The difference is the same. But here's the thing. It was inspired by that, and then there was this exercise we were running at work where cards were going around, and then you're just supposed to share experiences, and the card is like a guide. And that card asked, the card that I remember specifically, asked, what is an attribute that you have as an adult that you can attribute to your experiences as a child? Okay. And I have so many. I feel like now I should just do a series of these. But the one I'm going to go with today is hyper-independence. I think I'm going to call it hyper-independence, but I'm going to explain what it is. And you can tell me if like there's maybe another word for it. And me, I always thought hyper-independence was like the goal, you know. I'm a strong, independent woman who don't need nobody. But let me tell you, and then I got to realize, I just learned recently, because you get to learn things about yourself that you didn't even know. So I got to learn recently when I started investing in a lot of wellness knowledge that actually hyper-independence is a trigger response to something, to a trauma. It's a trauma response, not a trigger, sorry. It's a trauma response to an experience that you've had earlier. And for me, of course, I knew, because I've invested in like just knowing, sitting with myself and learning, where did this come from? What sort of grace should you extend yourself? And from just trying to learn all these things, I learned where my hyper-independence came from. And this is what I mean by, I'm describing it as hyper-independence, but I feel like that's not the correct word for it. But, by hyper-independence, I mean, this is how I say it, I literally can exist as an island. They say man is not an island. I think there's some people on this earth, like me, who can exist without other people or other things. Like we can just be. If we weren't supposed to go to work and pay rent and just survive, I really do not think I'd have the need for people. It sounds really bad. But then you find yourself having to having to adjust so that you can fit in all these whatever systems have already put in place. So like, let's say if you have a family and if you have friends, there's social systems that already exist that you just find yourself aligning your attitude towards. And then there's also like if you need to go to work, there's already a professional system, there's a capitalist system. So you find humans need each other a lot, and a lot of people think that's a norm when it's not for all of us. I think there are people generally who just can be without other people. And how I started to realize some of these things is, and I was feeling guilty for these feelings in the beginning because you didn't feel the way other people felt. First things I realized, let's go with things like intimate relationships or intimate feelings towards other people, just getting attracted to other people sexually. I found myself never having experienced things like I have a crush, I just like someone. I never had those. Okay, so I was just I'm just there. Like, I'd have to probably interact with someone until they grow on me, but I never really had a crush. I've never seen someone and just felt attracted to them. I've never felt like I wanted someone. And getting to talk to people, I realized that apparently that's not common. And I think there's a point where I fell into like peer pressure where I was like, oh, that guy was cute. But it really just didn't make sense to me. The other thing that I realized was really weird was every time, so I didn't know how to respond. People will always call me and tell me, oh, I miss you. I haven't seen you for a while. Oh, I'm thinking of Nani. Let me call her and see how she's doing. And these are things that I generally do not feel. If you are out of sight, you are out of my mind. I literally do not think of people that I do not see. Probably I'd scroll through social media and see your name, but I wouldn't actively think about where is she, where did she go to, what's she up to, nothing. And this is weird because it doesn't even change like with friends and family. I don't miss my friends, I don't miss my family. Just when I see them, I'm happy to interact with them, but I don't usually sit and crave a feeling of seeing someone. And I think it's really, really weird. But anyway, as I told you, I don't know if it's called hyper independence. I don't know if it's related. I said I don't know the word for these things that I'm describing. And there's other things like now the hyper independence bit of it, where my own life, there's systems that I established, and these systems, their sole purpose is to make sure that we never have to reach out to someone else to bail us out. We never need another woman, we never need to need another person, another human being, another thing. So I think the one thing that makes me most upset right now in the world is how food is digested by our bodies, because I'm just like, I'm gonna eat now and then I'm hungry again by tonight. It does not make sense. If I'm gonna eat, inipeleke ata karibu siku tatu. So the idea of always needing something is not it's weird for me. It's just it bothers me. And when it comes to hyper independence, you'll always find that I cannot personally let other people be in control. And it's just easier for me because it will be done faster and it will be done exactly the way I wanted. And if something goes wrong, then I have myself to blame instead of like trying to blame other people, which is now a whole lot of things. Just yourself. I usually say, it's so bad that in an apocalypse, my house can be used as a vault, as a safe house. Like, because you literally pack the things around your life so conveniently that you will never ever have to reach out to other people, and you avoid situations where you see the possibility of having to need someone. Like, let's say a situation where people are going out. I've been called a couple of times by my friends who just want to go out, and I'm just like, me, I don't have money, but they're like, kwani konini, where kuja tutalipa, and these are like really good friends, but still you just feel kama zina pesa yangu hakuna vile nitakaa hivi na nikose kusweat huko kwa palms. No way. I'm deathly scared of those experiences where I have to call someone and be like, so I'm stranded, can you send me 5 Gs? I deathly hate and fear those situations where I'm just like, I'm somewhere and I cannot be of help to myself. So I don't know if that explains it. Yeah, that explains it. And then when it comes to now relationships, like being involved in actual relationships, you find that I usually see the finality of a relationship. I always anticipate the finality of a relationship. I don't feel like if I'm dating someone right now, I never think to myself that this is supposed to last my entire life. I never think to myself, oh, this is supposed to go for 2 years. I'm expecting a breakup text, a breakup call at whatever time. So this is not even like something I've prepared for. This is not even something like I have at the back of my mind. It's just that if a breakup text come in, or if like a situation where this person sits me down and breaks up with me comes to play, I am not particularly taken aback. It hurts. It's painful. You have to go through the process of healing and trying to find ways to just, because you shared beautiful things and you shared beautiful experiences with this person. But at that point when it comes to an end, and it doesn't matter how sudden the end is, it could be as sudden, yani this person could have just been laughing with you and then 1 minute he says, me, I don't want you, But it's never taken me aback. It's never been a disappointment in the sense of, where did that come from? Because it's always been anticipated. And I don't know if now you're getting the picture of the kind of person I am saying I am, right? I literally have no need for people or things. And when I say things, I mean, even in my house by itself, even generally as a person, I do not buy, I do not pick, I do not take anything from anyone that I cannot functionally use. It has to have very long-term functionality and it has to be relevant. Like, I just cannot, I just don't go and if I buy clothes, if I'm just going to buy like 2 pairs of pants, it's because there's 2 pairs of pants that don't fit me anymore. And the 2 pairs of pants that are already in my closet will have to be disposed before these 2 pairs of pants that are new come and replace them. So there's just like weird, I just think they're weird because now when I'm interacting with people, now that I've found myself in the past 2 years having like closer friends. I don't know how to explain it. Closer friends means people who come to my house, people who I go to their house, people who I share experiences with. That's something that I never really had. I'm planning to buy a dining table and then I share with someone. That's something that I never had. Those are friends that I've acquired in the past 2 years. And it's also weird. So having to interact with them, I started to realize how different our mindsets are when it comes to things and people. And that's where I now actively came to realize that, wait, you're someone who does not need people. You completely would be fine without people. A point in your life where it's not a point in your life because you're always like that. It's just you really do not see why these people are here. If it wasn't for the systems that already exist and how you need to survive, you'd not have people in your life. Like literally an apocalypse can sweep this entire continent. No, let me say the world can sweep this entire world and you'll be fine. So yeah. That sort of, I call it hyper independence, but if you have a word for it, please let me know. And how I want to attribute, just thinking to myself, what I'd attribute this trait to growing up is having to be held responsible a lot. So I am a middle child, and a lot of people are just like, it's the firstborns who carry all the weight, it's the firstborns who are expected to do this and that. And it's usually very weird because I completely fit that, what is it called? Like the mold of a firstborn. But in my home, I am the smack middle child, like the third born in a family of 5. And I took up a lot of responsibility. I was held accountable for things, even for things that other people did, and that's okay. I think even firstborns, you're going through all of that, right? But I think the difference was my side of the story was never hard. And even if it was, it ended up being my fault. And so you get, I don't know where in this process, whether as a child, as a teenager, as a young adult, I don't know where in this process I just decided to retract completely and be by myself. And I don't know where in this process I began to feel, I don't know where in this process I completely detached from like human need for attention or all that. I do not know where in this process I got all this, but I know that I retracted completely and therefore started to build things as myself. And then there was also the need, I think people who have been estranged from their families, even if you've mended the relationships right now, there was this point where everyone expected your downfall. And not even family, like different things, even like the church. When I stopped frequenting the church like I used to, there was this aspect of doom is coming. Your doom day is near, and so you had to work extremely hard to prove these people wrong. And while doing it, you had to also make sure no one saw it, because then it would prove their point. I don't know if it's making sense. I'll give you an example of when I left my hometown. I lived my whole life in Eldoret. So when I left Eldoret for Nairobi, and there was just this, everything that went around was, she ain't gonna survive. She's gonna be she's probably prostituting by now so that she can make money. She's I don't know. And one thing that I remember, this is a friend of my mom who said, she wasn't even a close friend of my mom, so I don't know why she was playing mom. She was like, you will come back here walking, crawling on your knees. You'll come back to Eldoret crawling on your knees back to your mama's house. And I don't know why she said that. I don't know, because even my mom was not like hurt like that about me moving to the city. I don't know why this one was particularly very hurt about my moving out. But I think that statement played in my head so much in my first years in Nairobi. And I was just like, everything I do, if I do not succeed, I would rather die. Because there is no way that woman's word is coming to pass, So it was that kind of experience. And that's just like one sort of experience. Growing up, and I would say this from maybe when I was in campus. Yeah, at the time when I was in campus is when I think that's the first time I wasn't held accountable for someone's actions. But all my life, I remember from the time I was a child, whatever my sister did, it was my fault. If my sister cried, it was my fault. And then my younger sisters, if anything happened, if something was not done well in the house or wherever, it was my fault. If you failed exams, it was your fault. Everything was your fault. If I don't know about my elder brother and sister, my elder siblings, but for them, it wasn't exactly blamed on me, but I could see the avoidance of confronting them and the projection on me. So them being confronted directly, I didn't see it as much, but getting to see how probably my parents being angry at them getting projected on me, that I did see a lot of. And so I was technically responsible for everything and everyone. And so everything had to be in place. So you get into people pleasing, right? Because mom has to be happy, dad has to be happy, teachers in school have to be happy. Just try so that, one day it will be good enough, And for me to have realized that, it took me so long, because I think I was 27, that's when like I started to be serious about wellness and mental wellness. At 27 is when I sat down and realized it will never be good enough. It won't be ever good enough. You're supposed to get an A in school, you get an A in school, but then yes, this is an A, but why did you fail this? Why is this particular subject a B? Fine, you're done with school now. You're in campus, you're supposed to be hustling. Now you've hustled, you've gotten a job. Who's going to hire you without a job? You hustle and find a job, and now the questions are like, how did you get a job when you're so young and you're not qualified? You're scheming through life, and after that it's just like, when are you going to get a job? And now you've gotten a job and your job is frustrating you and you're suicidal and you try and get through it, and now you've bagged this job, but why isn't this job paying 50 G's? And you work harder and harder and you take up more side hustles until you're bringing in 50 G's and more. And why isn't this job paying you 100K? Now you should be looking for 100K. And now you're looking for jobs that are paying 100K. And now you have a job that's paying 100K. And why isn't this job paying you 500K? And why aren't you a manager yet? And now you're struggling and hustling and trying to be a manager. And you haven't even sat down for a minute to just think that maybe I freaking don't even want to work in an office to begin with. I just want to make music or voice or act or sing. I don't know. That's what I want to do. And probably I just want to make enough to pay my rent and sit down. So long as I have a roof over my head. You don't get to think about all that. And I just sat down and thought to myself, girl, it will never be enough. Because now you're going to come home and, your cousin has bought a car. Why don't you have a car? Your cousin has bought a land. Why don't you have a car? Oh, your cousin is now married. Your sisters have kids. Why don't you? It will never be enough. Okay? So I think just that idea of always working towards. And you always had to work in silence so that failures were silent. That's because the probability of working on anything is that it could fail or it could prosper. And if it failed, it had to be in silence. Okay. And so you realize when you're working through things and you're working through them alone, you get to this point where you don't remember how it is to have help. You don't remember how it is to need someone. You don't remember how it is to just feel the need to seek for help. And therefore, we grew into this adult life where you just don't need people. It's been so many years of you just not having anyone or not having anyone come through that you literally just you've been fine doing it by yourself. Okay. So yeah, that's the one attribute. The hyper independence ties a lot to growing up and having to first being held accountable for everything and not having your side of the story being heard. So yeah, I think that's it. That's just it. I don't know what else to say. That would be an attribute that I tend to think is very strongly related to what it is, with the experiences that I had as a child, as a teenager, basically just growing up. And I thought it would be nice to share so that if there's anyone else going through that, just know you're not alone. It happens. And I see this, like I've experienced it with other people. And I realize that the common factor is that we, at a moment in our life, or basically all our lives, no one ever came through. As much as of course now we know to ask. But earlier on we knew that you'd swim oceans for people. But at that time when you need people, even if you ask them, you've been disappointed so many times. People have not come through for you so many times. People have turned their backs against you so many times that you just know the only person I have in this life that can have my back is me and me alone. And you find yourself detaching a lot from humans, from emotions. So I find myself to be a very cold person. Like if someone is crying, I don't know what to do with them. If someone is extremely excited about something, I don't know what to do with them. I'm just like, I'm not mad about it. I'm not jealous. I'm just there. I feel nothing. I am excited for you. I love to see people thrive. I love, because I know how something working out for me feels. So I love it for other people. But if you come to me and I just don't know what to do with this, because I'm completely detached from human emotion. And I'm working hard. I'm really working hard, because if you knew me a couple of years back and you know me now, I've come a long way. I can hug people now. I never used to hug people because it was just, I can hug people. I try with skin. What is it called? Touch, human touch, skin on skin. Anyway, yeah, I try now. I'm able to be there for people, because I was completely devoid of emotion. Because people will call you and they'll just rant on, and you don't know what to say or how to be there for them. So I am trying now, and I think I've come a long way in also just being able to ask, being able to tell people that I need a hug right now. I need someone to come and cook porridge for me and just keep me company because I'm having a bad day. So I'm also learning, and I'm not being, because I realized as much as I'd be fine if someone, what is it called? If someone hasn't talked to me for such a long while, and I call them, and then they call me for something, let's say, hey, Olive, ukona 2K, I need it. I won't be mad, but I realize for other people, that makes them mad. They're just how dare you reach out to me only when you need something? So I'm also trying to meet people at a middle ground, especially people who I think are important, people who are nice, people who I share life values with, so I try to meet those people halfway. I can now say I miss you. When people call and say they miss me, I can say I miss you too. I never used to lie. Right now, I might not have missed you, but I understand how important that is for you, so I can just say I've missed you too. So yeah, it's okay. So yeah, that is it. My hyper independence is directly linked to the amount of work I had to do, just the approval I worked to get from people, and it never came, and also how much people have disappointed in life earlier before, and therefore you just had to find a way to make it work out yourself, right? But we're grateful all the same. We move regardless, and that should be the end of this episode. I hope someone finds something homely about this episode. I hope if you're the kind of person who's been very devoid of human emotion, or you really are an island, you're able to now realize that you're not by yourself. If you've also been a victim of probably me being very cold or being devoid of emotion, then you understand where it's coming from. I'm never feeling negative or positive about whatever situation it is we were in. I just didn't feel anything. And it's a very weird space to be in, because you just feel nothing. It's just emptiness. So if you've experienced that, even with your other friends, they could be also sort of cold and probably don't know what to do with humans or basically anything. Yeah. Also, I remembered. This is a trait that I have now, and it's because of the same thing. I do not care for things that I cannot use. Did I say that? I really love small spaces. Even the house I have right now, I feel is extremely huge. I really need just enough space. If I can touch my walls, I'll be really fine. I really don't understand how, say, politicians just work to amass so much wealth. You've bought an 18-bedroom house and you and your wife. You can't sleep in 18 of all the bedrooms. Some of those things are difficult for me to wrap my head around, because I only find myself wanting and working towards only what I would need. Yeah. Anyway, it was a dope episode. Love you. I hope to see you soon. And I'll try. I'm in a better place now, and I will definitely try to put out another episode soon. My TikTok people, I just want to say, Thank you so much. It's TikTok and Instagram that come through for me so much with just hyping me up and telling me, girl, you make me laugh. Even me, I love laughing. So if people are laughing along, oh my goodness. Yeah, so I am so happy. Thank you so much, my TikTok fam, my Instagram fam. Facebook fam has always been, foundation. Those are what are they called? Pediwa memes, mental wellness. All my people are on Facebook. So I'm really glad. I am really happy and glad for the spaces that I've been in on social media. I've found a lot of positivity in it. These people might not exist. These spaces might be delusional, but I have been happier on social media with these people who I feel like I share values with, okay? And so, thank you and bless you. I'll see you in the next episode. This has been In All Honesty Podcast. My fabulous name is Oliver Rao. And you can catch it on YouTube, stream it on Spotify, and download it on Mdundo. Bye until next week or next time. I love you.